Good afternoon, everyone. Maybe good morning for some of you if you're from the States. I think we have people from all different kinds of time zones here available today. So that is great. Quick introduction from my end. My name is Stefan van Eerde. I recently joined Startupbootcamp as one of the mentors. And in that capacity, I'm also providing this webinar today together with Deniz Kahraman. She is a founder of a company called Hippist, and she is in a different time zone than I am. I'm based out of Portugal, so I'm in the UK time zone. And Deniz, feel free to give a short introduction. Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm also an SBC alumni. I'm from the last spring cohort. So it's very happy to be with all the SBC startups here. I'm founder of Hippist. I'm in Istanbul. I'm from Istanbul. I come from e-commerce world myself. I built and scaled a jewelry brand and sold more than 50,000 pieces online, and dealt with cost, complexity of product photography, and traditional photo shoots require models, photographers, stylists, endless coordination. And we were constantly need such photos for our business, but it's slow, expensive, and hard to scale. So we decided we searched for a tool when we are taking care of our photos 2 years ago, and when we couldn't find a proper one. Since we know this is a big need, we decided to do ourselves, and Hippist born. We solved this problem, replacing a full photography crew with a business-focused generative AI platform. Brands can upload their product photos, and they can just change the original photos, hair, makeup, physical appearance of the model, localized styling for different seasons, different markets, geographies, run A/B tests with multiple looks, and revamp their old photos also when the royalty finished for other reasons. So this is Hippist, and we already have more than 100 paying customers across 15 countries. Mostly from jewelry, eyewear, fashion, accessory brands. And our value proposition is we are 95% cheaper and much faster than traditional photo shoots. And we maintain the product accuracy perfectly. So that's it.
Thank you, Deniz. By the way, a practical remark: the slides will be made available to all of you as well. So if you want to read back on anything that we've said within this hour of the webinar, feel free to take a look at the slides afterward. What we will also do is we will showcase a couple of tools and a couple of things, also in a very short demo. If for whatever reason you'd like to learn a bit more about this, feel free to reach out to Deniz or to myself. And we also gladly schedule a one-to-one if that makes sense, to learn more about your own business case and maybe how you can apply the tools and examples that we provide today. So a bit more about myself. My name is Stefan van Eerde. I have around 19 years of experience starting up different companies. The latest company that I started was a company called Shadow Leaders, which is more like a network of experts, former entrepreneurs, former founders, but also angel investors and VCs coming from different backgrounds to help founders such as yourself scale their company faster. We primarily focus on scale-ups, so less so on startups, but we're moving also a bit more toward the domain of startups. I bootstrapped my own company, which I sold to investors some years ago. And what I also really learned, and maybe that resonates also with you, is that it's quite lonely as a founder. You have your different roles, maybe with your co-founders in your founding team, but someone who really understands what's going on with you, and the job that you need to complement and that you need to fix can be quite hard. And yes, of course, you can work together with investors, and they could bring their own advisors. But then there's always a slight bias, because what if you do not get along with the advisor, but the investor, you want to make sure that you stay in a good relationship with the investor. That is a bit difficult. So I saw this opportunity to offer like more like a neutral network of experts that you can work with, depending on your needs and your demands and your growth ambitions as well. Yeah, here are already a couple of my details, so feel free to reach out to Stefan@shadowleaders.com or my cell phone number in case you have any questions. I will also repeat this slide at the end of the presentation, so just for you to know that the information is here in the deck, and you can reach out to us. So why Shadow Leaders? I think I saw the opportunity to set up some sort of a personal advisory board of experts that you can directly connect with. Yeah, mainly to avoid making costly mistakes that you could have avoided if you would have had the right expertise in house. And that's mainly one of the biggest reasons why I started Shadow Leaders. What you will also get is one-to-one mentoring sessions and a clear sort of scaling roadmap to understand, okay, what are your challenges, what are the opportunities that you face, and how can you optimize these processes, and how can you automate as much as possible within the current technological capabilities that are out there, and also taking into account your already existing MarTech stack that you have and that you probably want to keep. It's also about market positioning, identifying the right personas, the right ICP, and all of that good stuff that you also learn from other mentors within the Startup Bootcamp, and probably also that you've come up yourself. And I think what's also quite important is that it's not some sort of a program that you go through, an educational thing. This is all custom. So this is really up to yourself and the questions that you have in the interaction with the expert to, or in plural, the experts, depending on your needs. If you have financial challenges, you will have a financial expert. If you have legal challenges, legal expert. If you have internationalization challenges, and also localized per region or per country. For instance, if you want to enter the German market or the US market, it requires different experts with different expertise. So in a nutshell, we really focus on helping founders with new market entries. It can be a new vertical, new industry, or a new country. We help with go-to-market automation. So how can we implement smart tools that are out there to save you time and also to avoid manually repetitive tasks? We want to be your sparring partner so that you as a founder and CEO, you get more confidence in the decisions that you make and the things that you do. We also help with finding the right business partners in other countries and establish first contacts. So if you're looking for suppliers or if you're looking for investors in other regions, collaborations and so on, we can also help you through the network with that. It's also really about your own professionalism and the quality of the decisions that you make and the learning and the sort of personal development that you go through yourself when you engage with us. And it's also about getting really more focus on the things that move the needle. So how can you generate higher margins? What activities do you need to do? What activities do you actually need to stop doing? And so on, to make sure that we help you also solve the big challenges that you face and that you might struggle with based on the day-to-day routines that you have and the busyness that all of you probably have, because there's so much to do. Good. So it's really about pressing the green button to go up one level and see how we can help you do that, because that's the essence also of Shadow Leaders. We're intentionally in the shadows. It's up to you, the leader and the founder, to lead your own company and to scale it and to grow it to the next level. We're not sort of some sort of substitute and do it instead of you. It's really up to you and your own plans and ambitions and speeds, because that is key in having your own company. That's why you started your own business in the first place, right? You didn't want to listen to some sort of boss or manager or anything like it. You want to do your own thing because you see this business opportunity. Well, I've done this before for several companies. I will not go through all the details here, but I've done this for an IT deep tech company based out of the Netherlands. I helped them bringing in a €6 million funding round from a well-known venture capital firm called AXA Venture Partners, based out of New York and also based out of Paris. And I helped them setting up the systems, but also hired the right people in the go-to-market team, sales, business development, customer success, and marketing. And that generated a massive amount of annual recurring revenue. Of course, not all by myself. It's because of the quality of the team and the composition and the knowledgeable parts about the tech stack and how they can use it. And all of that together came to a very nice result. And they recently also got their next funding round in, and they're growing even faster than before. So in a nutshell, what is it? It's a network of experts. Currently, we have around 50 different experts, but it's continuously growing with more and more experts. They all work on a freelance basis, so we're very lean and mean as a network organization, and really to help you make the right decisions instead of doing it all by yourself. These are not sort of theoretical professors. These are people with experience-based insights. They might have done it themselves already, or they might have coached or mentored companies that have gone through a similar phase as yourself, to make you avoid costly mistakes. So with this, it's really about growing faster, saving costs along the way. And also, if you already have an investor, several investors also engage with us because they know that they can get a better return on investment because less mistakes are made. And we already have a go-to-market operating system that we can implement for different companies depending on their needs. But that's a lot of me talking, and we also want to do it a bit interactively, Deniz and myself. So we've prepared this webinar for you to make it more interactive. By the way, do interrupt, please, because this is not a lecture. So if you have a particular challenge, or if something resonates really well with you, you want to share an example of your own business, please do. So please do unmute yourself when there's something, or raise your hand, and we'll give you the mic, and we give you the opportunity to also engage with us. So, any questions already now from the audience? Is there anything that is clear, unclear, resonates, does not resonate? And if not, we'll just jump into the questions that we create. Yes, Nicholas, please.
Hi, Stefan. I just have a quick question. So does Hippist take like equity in the company? Like, does Hippist take equity in our company?
Hippist is Deniz's company. So she is a founder as such, and Shadow Leaders is the network, and so that's the difference in the.
Sorry. Shadow Leaders. Sorry. Shadow Leaders. The Shadow Leaders take equity in our company. Sorry, that was the wrong question.
Of course, no. Maybe Deniz does, but Shadow Leaders does not. No, we only work on a retail.
No, I don't either.
No, we intentionally do not do this because we think equity is the most expensive form of loan and most expensive way of paying advisors and experts. So yeah, we don't. But again, that's other networks and other companies might see this differently. But we intentionally do not take equity in the company because we want to make sure it's neutral and it's valuable advice, and we want to challenge you also, and not if you're an equity holder as well. Sometimes things can get into a bit of a conflict of interest, if you ask me. So,
gotcha. Thank you.
Cool. Other questions? Good. Then one for you, Deniz. So this is the question I prepared for you. If you can maybe show a quick demo of Hippist, and you shared a show reel with me.
Yeah.
So let me switch to this one, and then I will press the play button. If someone doesn't hear it, please do let me know, and then I'll try to start the show reel again. It will take about a minute and a half or so. So here we go.
Meet Hippist AI, the next evolution in product photography. We combine styling, editing, and AI-powered models to offer a seamless professional photo shoot experience, all in one platform. Whether you're showing off jewelry, eyewear, handbags, or even home goods, Hippist AI adapts to your product. With just a few clicks, you can style any item to perfection. Need a variety of models for your campaigns? Hippist AI generates men, women, and children across all ages and skin types. So your brand's visuals stay inclusive, fresh, and on trend. Missing part of the body in a photo? Our Magic Expand feature intelligently fills in the gaps, giving you a complete studio quality image. No reshoot needed. At Hippist AI, you're in charge. Change hair color, makeup styles, clothing, accessories, whatever your brand or design calls for. Think of it as your own professional styling team, right at your fingertips. At Hippist AI, we're leading the way in AI-driven product photography, giving you maximum creative freedom and unmatched convenience. Hippist AI adapts to any culture or product line. Elevate your brand with Hippist AI, where creativity meets convenience. Ready to capture your products the way you've always envisioned? Visit our website and transform your photos today.
Yeah, that's the best.
Thank you, Deniz. Do you want to elaborate a bit more in your own words about what we just saw in the show reel, please?
Yeah, actually, I mentioned about Hippist and myself, so I don't want to duplicate. But basically, we just take the old or crappy amateur photos and make them much professional photos. When we begin, there wasn't some options in the market 2 years ago, but now there are a lot of generative AI tools. So we are now trying to deal with it. Actually, it's one of our the AI industry problem. I guess every day many tools and technology is just improving, but this is our value.
Good. Well, thank you. It looked really nice, I think, and maybe that is also a nice inspiration here for the group. So if you need a good show reel, you know, who to
Yeah,
contact.
yes.
And
Just
ask
let
her
them know.
to use. Yes, Jubil, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, so I'm joining the meeting from Kenya,
Oh, great.
and I'm doing the product. I'm the founder of a certain project called DWF, that stands for Digital Wooden Furniture. So my question is related to the Hippist, at least maybe like if I am to produce the furniture, because I didn't see anywhere they are showcasing like for the Hippist, where they're showcasing anything related to furniture or any other products apart from photographs of the living. So like if I have a furniture, let me say a table or maybe a stool, and I want to use the Hippist as an AI application. So is it going to be able to maintain the same exposure, or it's just related to photographs of maybe human being? And the second question, if maybe I am into photography and I want to take a picture and maybe the photo isn't full because maybe of the wrong framing, like how am I sure, or how does Hippist going to maintain the color of the personnel they, because like we are from different ethnicity, so is Hippist going to maintain the same color of maybe because of the race? I think if I'm clear, yeah, that's my question.
There was some interruption, so I missed some of the parts of the question, but as far as I understand, you can use for many purposes. Just I'm going to leave my mail to the chat, so you can directly mail me, and in your let's learn about your case and how could we help and solve your photography problems. First is this, and the second, we just we have many options. We can just work on the diversity. Basically, it's about your prompt. You can just change everything. No. Hippist is not related to shadow leaders. Actually, we are telling about Hippist. Maybe this is confusing. We are not related shadow leaders. Stefan is SPC's one of the new mentor, and he has his own business, Shadow Leaders. But I am an SPC alumni, So I have another business generative AI tool, Hippist. And after this part, we are going to talk about how can a business such Hippist and yours, for example, B2B business, can scale with shadow leaders' help. Do you have an addition, Stefan? Because I think there is as I understand, two questions asking our relationship.
Yeah.
So is it clear enough, or maybe you can just give some?
Yeah, I think I can also. So Tal, hopefully I can also clarify it a bit more. So Hippist is a company by a founder of the Startup Bootcamp network. I'm a mentor in the Startup Bootcamp network and an advisor. So that's the difference between the two things. So I'm in the capacity of an advisor. So yes, I'm also a founder of a company, but in the capacity of an advisor, that's how I'm involved with Startup Bootcamp, and also how I help out Deniz. So some questions she will ask here during the webinar will be from a founder to an advisor, and some will be from an advisor to a founder. So that's a bit the interaction that we try to show during this webinar. So, okay, you're welcome. Great. Yeah, Daniel, I think you also had a question.
Sorry. Yeah, I just want to make it clear.
Oh, we're losing you, I think, Daniel. The line is breaking up a bit. Does everyone have? Do you have that as well, Deniz?
Yes, it's
We are struggling. We are struggling to hear him.
Daniel, can you still hear us?
I'm sorry, maybe I lost you a bit. Do you hear
Yes.
me now?
Yeah, we hear you again.
I just want to ask the continue follow-up question. So you're presenting your solution to us, and she's is a successful use case that already use your solution to scaling. So we can hear from the both side of the consultancy and the actual business that use your professionality to scale, something like that.
That's the format of this webinar, indeed. Yeah.
Thank you. So another quick question from Deniz: how do you use the character consistency?
Daniel, I think you need to make it so we don't see you, because your line is so unstable we can't hear you. The reason I asked Stefan to also bring Deniz on board is because he's been mentoring Deniz. So as a mentor, then you could see if you need some mentoring help in this area, the kind of benefits that Deniz got from it. But Daniel, since we can't hear you at the moment, could we go to Aries for just a moment? And maybe you could put your question in the chat.
Yeah, indeed, feel free to add it to the chat. Sorry, Aries, for interrupting. And I will come back to your question as well, Tal, afterwards. So we'll give a bit more insight on that as well to address your question and that of Jubil. Yeah.
Hi, Stefan. Hi, Deniz. Thank you for the presentations. I just had one quick question about the Shadow Leaders Group.
Of course. Yeah.
Just trying to make sure that I actually understand the concept. So it's a free group where basically business leaders come together and discuss the strategies and use each other as sounding boards. Is that sort of the?
No, it's mainly sort of a group of experts helping founders out depending on the needs of the founder. So it normally starts with the discovery call where we identify the challenges of a founder, and based on that discovery call, I will connect you to potentially another expert, or you stick around with me if it's my kind of expertise. And I'm an expert in marketing automation and go-to-market. But for instance, if you would have a legal challenge or an IP challenge or a challenge related to fundraising or a challenge related to supplier or logistical challenges, that would, for instance, be the expertise of another expert in the network. And then I would connect you with the other experts.
Okay. Is that to lead on to like a consulting relationships, or is it more just bouncing ideas off of each other? Is it like a formal consulting agreement that I'd be going into with these people that I'd be speaking to, or would it be more of a personal side of things?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. So it's a very personal but at the same time formal agreement. So it is a paid assignment as such, and it's a paid agreement, but it's really up to you and the advisor in the network how often you want to cooperate, and also the agreement that you make together. So there's no sort of standardized package that you can buy or so, because it's really depending on the needs that you have. If you need someone for an hour a month, that's different advice than if you need someone very hands-on for, say, 8 hours a week.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I understand.
But this is different than the mentoring, which is pro bono, that Stefan does. So
Yeah.
Shadow Leaders is really, a business more for scale-ups really than really early stage companies. But Stefan does give back by mentoring, and Deniz was one of the companies he mentored. So
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for
Okay.
clarifying. But yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Then to Tol's question about that was a question for you again, Deniz. I will rephrase it in my own words. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tol, or should we like?
Yeah, it was somebody else's question, but it just didn't get answered earlier. Yeah.
So what about race, Deniz? How can you how does Hippist deal with different races, and how to have a representative overview in the photography that you have?
Hippist gives results depending on your prompt. So if you write whatever you want in the prompt, it would bring you.
So if I understand your question, like your answer correctly, it's really about the input that you provide yourself as
Yes, if anyone needs to learn about Hippist more in the technical details, they can. I'm leaving my mail to the chat, so they can directly ask me, and we can also make a demo, anything, and I can help all the SPC founders with pleasure, actually. I can show them how to change race and everything. I sent. So should I switch to the question?
Yeah, I see we got one more question coming in now from Rahele, if I pronounce your name correctly. And the question is, for your company that offer generative tools to alter human appearance and manipulate photos, how do you address the privacy and ethical concerns?
Actually, we are just think about like Canva. People come with their own visuals, and we don't use anybody's data. We don't use data to train the platform. We are just purchasing permissioned data to use. So there isn't any ethical problem in our tool, but we are limiting some prompts, for example, nudity, or some prompts about kids and something as them. And apart from that, we don't have any ethical issue, actually.
Great. Other questions from the audience, because it's actually really, really good that we have the nice interaction that we were looking for, instead of just blasting through the slides. So this is great. Thank you. Good. Well, if there's no other question from the audience, then over to you, Deniz. You came up with this question.
Sorry. Actually, this question, I don't know the SPC startups, this cohort, but as a startup, the main problem is we don't have budgets, we don't have money, we are trying to find, and we are just investing all our time, all our effort, all our money and connections to a business. And it's very hard without the budgets to make this business scale or even go to market efforts. So and we are 1 to maximum 3 people, so we don't have time to allocate for everything. So automation is important for us. So what do you think, from your experience, what automation techniques and maybe what kind of tools do you recommend us to scale our businesses?
Yeah, good question. Zooming in on B2B SaaS outreach, I think what's really important is that there are not really, well, I wouldn't really call it automation tactics to begin with. I would call it growth tactics, and automation can be a way of meeting your own growth objectives. The reason why I'm saying this is because you can also over-automate certain things, and I think it's very important that you as a founder know what you want to achieve, that you test something at a small scale, and really use automation to indeed scale up those efforts. So for instance, if you see that particular messages and particular emails to a particular audience are resonating really, really well, I think it's very important to then automate that process instead of just, blasting like thousands and thousands of email out simply because you can or because a tool provides that opportunity. So I think that is a very important thing to only use automation once you have seen a certain traction and seen certain results in what you want to achieve. I think when it comes down to the nature of your business, when selling to brands and agencies, I would really try to get in touch with the agency owners and brand strategists and people responsible for buying a tool or buying a subscription for Hippist. So I think that is really important, that you use particular tools to identify the right leads and the right people in the right cities or countries, depending on what you want to focus on, and then really double down on that. So there are tools out there that can also help you with automation of those leads if you know the criteria upfront and if you know how to engage with them.
Okay, thank you very much. And actually, there is a question, but it's combined. After maybe we can answer the question. My second question is what kind of it's important for us to sell our products. So we need to qualify B2B leads without overloading a small team. What do you recommend for us?
Yeah, so I can dive into that, but I think what's also really important is to understand of the complexity of the tech stack. So you've shared the tech stack with me and all the tools that you have. I think before we go a bit more into detail here, I also saw that Ali had a question and that Tal had another question. So Ali, I'd like to give you the floor first. So feel free to unmute yourself or type it into the chat, please.
Oh yeah, I have a quick question. So I just want to ask to Deniz how to find how do you find your company and how he how he get the advance from you. So why did you find like the company like you, and how he get advanced from your company? I'm asking to Deniz.
I want to confirm. Are you asking that how did we find Stefan and work with him?
Yeah, how did you find the shadow leaders, and so why in the first place you are looking for the company like that? I'm just curious. Maybe did you answer that before?
Actually, we are a SBC startup, so SBC makes us these useful connections. So we worked with Stefan, but at the same time, I have all our team we are very experienced in our businesses with more than 20 years of experience in e-commerce, telecommunications, corporate companies, but we don't have too much experience, actually not at all in B2B sales. So it's a very new area for us. So we need to learn from a professional who knows some industry data and industry knowledge, know-how to give us. That's why we consider to work with Stefan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and Ali, just tap in a little bit. This overview provided by Deniz and Murat and her team, and their team, I must say, also gives a bit the answer all by itself. And you see how many tools in the tech stack of a company like Hippist are already used. You use so many tools for the different functions for your content generation, your paid advertising, your outbound, your affiliates and partners, emailing, messaging, remarketing, and so on. It's easy to also get lost in all the tools, especially when you just get started. So I think that is also why it's quite interesting to talk to experienced founders, also such as Deniz, like how do you do it? Very practically, what can we learn from this? But also to talk to mentors and experts who have set up a similar system for other companies before, and can also maybe warn you for certain tools that look really like nice shiny objects, but they do not deliver the results, or they don't care about privacy, or there could be other problems out there that you do not read on their own website. So therefore, I think it's important to have at least regularly conversations with people who actually have used different tools, and not just recommend you something and then it doesn't work, or it backfires and you get banned from LinkedIn or something, for instance.
Thank you very much.
Then over to the chat again. I saw another question or comment from Tal. So Deniz, you're an existing founder, you've advised for a certain amount of time or new, in a certain amount of time, how long has Stefan advised? Yeah, I can give that, I can give an answer to that question, Tal. I think it's really, again, it's custom, so it really depends. Recently also, because we wanted to do a proper preparation for this webinar, we've been in touch quite a few hours throughout the last 2 weeks or so. But regularly it would be, not that much time. It's on average, when it comes to the scale-ups, I have around 1 or 2 hours per week of time with scale-up founders. When it's startups, it really depends also on the stage that they are currently at. If everything is sort of under control, you might actually want to get more in touch because you're maybe not growing too fast enough. All the other way around, if you're just busy extinguishing fires all day, every day, I will not ask you to also allocate an extra hour with myself to do certain things on top of what you already do, unless you really know you want to change something and change the way you deal maybe with challenges. So yeah, it's really custom. There's no such thing as, oh, the ideal number of hours to work with an advisor is 1 day a week or two hours per month. It really depends. It depends on the stage of your company. It depends on you as a founder and what you need and the experience you already have. And based on that, you work out a particular plan. Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, so what Deniz already showed here, I will not repeat all the tools that Deniz and her team are using, but we just wanted to give you an overview that it's quite a lot. If you want to master all of these tools yourself or within your team, this is already more than 40 hours of work to do this properly and make sure that these tools keep running properly, right? So this also shows the complexity and the expertise that you need working with each and every one of these tools and alternatives to these tools. And that's also what advisors do. We advise you to sometimes replace particular tools so that you can save cost, for instance, on ad spend, because there might be other tools out there that can do a similar thing without having to pay so much money for Google Ads or Meta Ads or other things. So a lot of owners and a lot of founders, such as yourself, they struggle because of the implementation of all these tools and all these systems, but also keeping an overview and making sure that everything keeps working. If you have everything connected with N8N or Zapier or Clay or all of that good stuff, it's not sort of a given that everything keeps working, right? There can be an update, there can be a change in the plugin, there can be a change in the policy of one of the platforms you connect with. So that is actually, it can give also a lot of frustration and stress. Like, how do you make sure that everything keeps working? How do you make sure that you end up high in the search results? All of a sudden AI came along and a lot of people currently don't use Google search anymore. So yes, you can spend a lot of money on being number one in Google search, but if people don't use it anymore, you have to pivot your strategy and also optimize, for instance, for GPTs. Okay, so this comes to your second question, Deniz. Maybe you can.
You answered this, I guess. No. Yes. I think you answered this a bit. Maybe we can switch to the third question.
Yeah. I can
Like,
give practical examples as well here. So there are two tools out there that I advise almost every company that I work with. So there's one tool for this particular example that I mentioned for GPT optimization, making sure that the ChatGPT and Grok and Gemini and all of that will actually also point to your website and will actually find you and take you into consideration. The good news is GPTs are also primarily based on search engine optimization. So the same logic applies for being number one in Google as it will be for being number one in, for instance, ChatGPT results. So that's the good news. The bad news is that often as a founder, you're not present. You're not even on page number 10, right? If you get started, it takes time to be indexed, and also it takes time to compete with the bigger brands in your domain who probably have their search engine optimization already well taken care of. So that's why you sometimes do need particular tools and automation to do that. And I have, I can give two examples of tools. I will not do a very long demo also for the sake of time, but let me just quickly show you two tools that I also myself use regularly. So one is a content tool, and they have like a very clear 3 minutes video. So let me just go through this, but I will just pause it halfway through for the sake of time, but just to give you a bit of an idea of how this tool works. And it's called Tally.ai. If you also want to have like even a special discount on the prices that they provide, feel free to reach out, and I can also bring you in touch with the founder of the company. This is a company based out of San Francisco. I think they do amazing work when it comes to optimization for geo and making sure that you're shown in the search or in the GPT results.
Set up your autonomous SEO block within 3 minutes by following this easy onboarding guide. It all starts with entering your name. At the next step, you will be asked to enter your website. Tally is going to analyze your website performance and going to show you your current traffic, your domain rating, your keywords for which you're already indexed. And also based on the descriptions that it finds on the website, create the first description about the company as how it is understanding your services, your target audience, what you're offering, what the company is doing, and what makes you stand apart. In this case, Momentum Electrical Contractors provide electrical services in the Greater Bay Area. At next step, Tally is going to ask you to select types of the companies that you can target. Tally is going to use multiple of them, but during onboarding, you need to select one. Let's say it would be commercial real estate who want robust electrical infrastructure for their business. Next, Tally is going to ask you to select buyer persona. Who is going to be the end reader? In our case, that would be commercial property manager who is looking for an electrical contractor for his commercial property. Then, Tally researches your competitors to find new SEO keywords for which they are indexed and you are not, and create articles for your blog. Then Tally asks you to select industry expert. Tally AI does the research for every article it produces from the point of view you select at this step. In this case, it would be commercial electrical systems expert in case of the Momentum Electric, who is going to research and generate articles for the blog. Finally, Tally presents you the planned results for the year. How many keywords it is going to cover, how many monthly visitors you're going to hit, and how many leads you're gonna get. This model would be updated as you will continue publishing. Then Tally starts producing the article. Article is going to look like this. It contains title, meta description. Article is optimized for a specific keyword. In our case, it's local commercial electricians, which has volume of 40 and cost per click of $15. It basically means if you would pay for this specific keyword on Google Ads, you would pay $15 per click. Next you would see an overview of the article, an introduction. It goes with the research in there with the infographics. The purpose of them is to provide you with the media-rich articles that are going to get indexed by Google. You are seeing another section in here with another type of the infographic. References to standards, and in the end, it goes with the call to action that you can additionally set up. You can review all the sources that have been used to generate this article on the right. You need to go to settings and connect your CMS integration. If you don't have blog, we can.
So again, for the sake of time, I will pause it here. But this is a tool that can generate up to 60 of these blog articles for you, auto-generated. And yes, you can auto-publish this. And no, I would not recommend that, because I would always do quality control, because you don't know what the tool is generating for you. So it always requires a bit of time. But instead of generating an entire article all by yourself, which could take you a lot of time to research and to find the right sources and so on, you can ask a tool to generate an article, or at least a concept of an article for you, and then just spend maybe 10-15 minutes for each and every article to fine-tune it to your own tone of voice, add a clear call to actions to it, and that will save you hours and hours of content generation work. So this is one example of a tool that can save you a lot of time working with it. Another one I will just very briefly also show you is sort of a LinkedIn automation tool, where you can see the messaging in the LinkedIn tool, as you can see here. So you see messages of different people, and you can generate labels. So your existing LinkedIn network, and this tool is offered by Connect Hack. So it's an interesting tool to map your own existing LinkedIn network, and you can filter it, and you can add them to pipelines and things like that, making your own LinkedIn network more actionable. But what's also quite nice is that you can generate your own lead lists from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, for instance. So there is a direct native integration with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, one of the tools that Deniz also uses with her team. And with that, you can generate a list like this. So I don't know any of these people. This is a list for a company that's focusing on construction owners in Switzerland, for instance. So you can generate that list. And what's really cool is that you can also generate an automation campaign. So this is another example of another company, and they want to target legal services company in Belgium. You can just complete this sequence. You can send automated messages. You can connect with people automatically to ask for a LinkedIn connection request, and so on. And it gives you also a clear overview of the results. As you can see, for this campaign, 48 out of the 168 persons already accepted it, which is quite high. So more or less 1 out of 3 will accept your connection request, and then you can start building up a relationship with them. So this is another tool. So the content tool is very powerful to optimize for GPT and give a boost to your search engine optimization. This is a great tool, for instance, for finding brand strategists or agency owners, like the use case that Deniz shared before. But these are just 2 examples of many other tools out there that we actively use, and that we also actively ask founders to give feedback on, so that other founders can also benefit from using these kind of tools to automate certain processes, and also have sort of an AI native approach within the way you work. So if you want to know more about these tools or other tools, please do reach out to Deniz or to myself as well, and we gladly talk you a bit through it and how we use this. So I'm going back to the slide. So this is what we've done as well. And then maybe for the remaining 9 minutes or so, I think maybe it's good if we start a little bit, or if we stop a little bit earlier, Deniz, that we just do maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and then see if there are still some more questions from the audience coming up. So this is a question to you, Deniz. What are your most pressing marketing and sales challenges that you currently face within Hippist?
Sorry. Actually, it's finding the new channels, because everybody tells about LinkedIn outreach, some other tools, but they are not magically brings you customers. Actually, marketing is, I think, much easier for me, because I'm from marketing background, so I can use all the channels very effectively and easily. It's our strong muscle. But on the sales side, it's not easy to approach people. Yeah, you are just sending them messages, but for example, they don't get back. They are not showing up their meetings. You are just waiting a meeting time. For example, nobody comes, and in convincing them to sales when they just this. But we are just, it's about building a healthy pipeline, I guess, because at the beginning, it's on the zero level. So you need to build that pipeline. But once you build it, then it was easier. For example, this month we just closed a big deal with a big Australian company, and he told me that I asked where did he find us, and he told me that he comes from a cold email outreach 3 months ago, tried the tool, couldn't use the tool. Now he just asked some questions and training from us. So it's maybe the most a challenging part is to wait with patience as a startup founder who needs funding and who has to be fast.
Yeah, nothing replaces patience and focus, right? So there's no tool in the world that can help you do this better and faster than your own brain power and your own priorities. So I think that's also a reality check. I think there is a huge risk when it comes to automation, and that's automating the wrong things, because then you will actually suffer more from information overload. And that's also something that Deniz and myself we've been talking about. Like, how can you make sure that you keep a good dashboard and a good overview of the things that really matter, and lose less time on things that don't really make an impact or really don't move the needle. Because being overwhelmed is something that a lot of founders also mention when I have sessions with them, and not necessarily knowing what to do next. Maybe you have a very technical background, so you're more like a CTO, and you start a company yourself, but then you learn that you actually need someone else with different expertise to complement you. These are all very logical things. These things happen with a lot of companies. So you're not alone there. You're not the only one who is in that sort of position. I think, again, for the sake of time, we came up with a couple more questions, but I think we can skip a couple of these questions. What's really important also from automation and a scaling point of view is, where are you currently in your go-to-market maturity process, right? So a lot of startups are still in the problem market fit phase. From that phase, eventually you will go into the product market fit phase. And from there, you actually will go into the platform market fit phase. So a company that grows well will go from all these different phases, and you will eventually end up in the platform market fit, where it's more about expanding among your existing customers, maybe diversifying with offering multiple products. And in the problem market fit, it's really about identifying, does the challenge that I identify and the product that I offer, or the service that I offer with my company, does it really solve the problem that I thought would be out there? And does it solve the problems for enough people that it actually is a business case, and if it's worthwhile? Because maybe you're in such a specific niche that there's not really a market for what you want to take care of, and then there could be a problem market fit, but then you will get stuck in the product market fit, because the total addressable market is maybe too small for what you want to achieve. So it's really also about thinking about your own go-to-market operating system. Like, what are the different tools? So like the beautiful overview that Deniz and her team provided, with all the different tools and everything in your stack. Is everything aligned? Is everything working the way you want it to be? Do you have the budget to pay for all these subscriptions, or do you need to maybe postpone acquiring certain tools because there is no budget for it yet? Because Deniz, this is something we didn't prepare, but do you know what you spend on a monthly base only already on subscriptions for all the tools that you've showed on the slide? And do you mind to share this with the founders so that they have an idea of the cost?
Murat, I'm going to pass this to Murat, our co-founder. I know roughly, but I don't want to give misinformation to founders. Murat, how much do we pay for all these tools?
Yeah, actually, in the market there are a lot of tools with different pricing, so you can actually just arrange how much budget you have and then choose the necessary tools. But I can say that we are just spending a couple of $100 for these tools, not too much. But if you can arrange and build a system, then you don't have to just pay thousands of dollars for these tools.
Yeah, so for all the founders, this is more or less already a starting point. So it's already hundreds of euros or dollars or whatever currency you currently have that you spend on a monthly base, right? So that is something that you need to take into account as well, apart from all the time that you need to invest in it yourself or find someone who's really good, like an operator, dealing with all these tools, like the combination of Deniz and Murat. Murat is more the one looking after the tools. I'm
the tool finder of
the tool finder, the tool wizard. So often you have different roles in the company, right? So that's yeah. Good. For the sake of time, I think yeah, we had a few more slides. So what's really important is yes, it is a lot of work, right? So what we want to do, and also you're already one step ahead for a lot of other companies because you're part of the Startupbootcamp network. Please do make use of experts. Get in touch with mentors. Do get in touch with other founders, and share. Yeah, share your concerns, share your findings, share the tools that you use, because someone else could tremendously benefit from your expertise and duplicate your efforts for a completely non-competitive, different industry. And that would, of course, create a lot of goodwill. And I also sincerely believe that if you do good to someone else, one way or another, it will circle back to you. So if you help someone out, a co-founder or a founder from another company, this normally always pays dividends. And yes, it is a lot of work to keep that system up and running, but also to select the right tools at the right time in your MarTech stack. That is not something that you can do in an hour or so. It requires quite a bit of research. Yeah. Good. Any questions in the sort of the final minutes of the webinar, because we want to be aware of everyone's time. Again, the slides will be shared with everyone. So if you want to dive a bit more into into the things that we've put on the slides, they will be shared by the team to everyone's here. Any remaining questions from the audience? Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you.
If not, then like Deniz said, feel free to get in touch with us.
Yes.
My contact details are up here, so you can reach out to me, but you can also reach out to Deniz. I think, Deniz, I will also add your email address to this overview if you're okay with that.
That would be great. If anything you need, I'm here as a startup founder, living same struggles with you. So whenever you need, you can just contact me.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and I hope indeed it was informative.